And yep, recording. And last thing is, this is kind of a workshop style session. So throw any questions you have as we go along, throw them in the chat, or this is a small enough group, you could just ask Victor as we go. And because we'll try to get the questions during the presentation instead of waiting till the end for them all. Is that right, Victor?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
That's
Great.
all accurate. Excellent.
Take it away.
Okay, let me make sure everything's working here. It should be for the most part. Just a heads up. First of all, hello, welcome. My name is Victor Reeser. As you just heard, Jessamine did an excellent job introducing me. Thank you very much. This is the workshop titled OBS Studio, a powerful video recording tool for online teaching. And that's what, oh, it says editing. That was a misnomer, just to clarify. You can't really edit with OBS, okay? So if you guys are here for some powerful editing tips, not the right workshop for you, okay? So it doesn't do that, unfortunately, but it does do a lot of other great things, and that's what we're gonna get into today. So first of all, I would like everyone to install OBS on their computers right now. If you're watching and if you haven't done so, and that's very possible, I'm going to go ahead and just drop the link right in the chat. You can do that right now, and that would be fantastic. And I am going to, let's see, a couple windows open, close these out, close that out, make sure I'm in the right place. And your site, it should look like this. This would be the link that I just sent everybody. If you have a Windows or a Mac operating system on your computers, it's very simple. You just download the install link and start installing, and there you go. It would be excellent if people watching right now, if you are here and you finished installing it, go ahead and say done just in the chat for me. Just go ahead and type that in. That would be great. Hopefully the conference has been going well today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to tune in to anybody's works this morning, but I'm assuming, I saw the schedule, it looked like some good stuff. Okay, I see 3 dones. Let's see. Yunsung, how are you doing? Were you able to install it? I apologize, but I cannot hear you. I think your microphone is muted. Hi, David. Welcome to the workshop.
Glad to see you.
You too, sir. You're looking great.
I have got it set up and installed now.
Excellent, excellent. So if you were able to get it running and installed, the next step is simply going to be opening it up. So I just dropped a link in the chat. I'll just throw it in one more time. If you just download it, you can click the link for your operating system, and then you can install it. And then we're going to open up the program, and it should look something like this.
When I first open it, it gives me a question about what it wants me to optimize for. And I'm going to say optimize just for recording. I will not be streaming. I'm assuming that if I were doing this with video games, I would probably do something else, but
sure.
just
If you're
recording.
doing the, I guess you're talking about, I didn't know if it would open for everybody. That's the auto configuration wizard when
Yeah.
you first open it up. And yes, please run that. It's a simple diagnostic that will check your computer's specifications, and it should adjust the settings for you, which is really nice. It makes life a lot easier. It wants to monitor input from your keyboard, even while using other apps. I'm not certain about asking for additional permissions like that, Lisa. It's a Mac setting.
Oh.
I'm not sure about installing it on a Mac, to be fair. So I can't tell you if you run into any issues per se on that operating system. But this is an open source program. I'm uncertain if it's like I have never had an issue with where you're saying like a privacy issue regarding key logging or something to that effect. That's yeah, you probably won't need that if that's what it's asking. I'm not sure why it would need that at all, honestly. I suppose if you can do some other, okay, that's not true. There are advanced programs where you can manipulate OBS through other apps, even on your phone or other devices. So it's probably you might have to confirm permission for that if you were going to use advanced features of the program later. But for right now, it's unnecessary, definitely. So hopefully everyone has their screen right here. If you ran the wizard, it will give you a couple settings. It'll tell you what it thinks your computer can do, okay? And you can just go ahead and click the default. Yes. Sure, sounds good. Ms. Park, thank you for the message, okay? And yeah, and that's fine. So once we're here, your screen should be black. And the reason your screen is black is because, well, right now we're not capturing anything. There's nothing being recorded, but this is where you can start to add things in. And we are going to get to the point, I'm going to show you how where you're going to reach this. You're going to be able to put all this together, and we're all going to be, we're all going to have this right on our screens by the time we're done with the workshop. Okay, easy peasy, easy peasy. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our black screen, and let's take our first step together, where we take a look at the options here that are available to us. If you look at the bottom, we have a scenes section. The scenes section is just a very simple, scenes are set up so that you have your different sources. Anything you want to show on the screen can be associated with a scene. And the reason you separate each scene, it's essentially like one slide of a PowerPoint. You can kind of think of it that way. And if you want to change scenes and show something else to whoever is watching what you're streaming, or if you're recording the video, it's a simple way to transition into another slide of information. You can click through the scenes like I have set up here, okay? For today, you don't need to add any extra scenes or worry about it at all. We're just going to go through setting up how to add things to your, to your stream display on your screen. So don't worry about it too much, but it's just, this is the location for where we're going to have anything you want to add in OBS. It's all in your scenes, okay? The audio mixer to the right, that's blank right now. And that's because we don't have any audio sources going into OBS. So that's where, if we do have audio, when we add our microphone later, you will be able to see the volume raise and lower. And if you're recording, you have a video going or anything else, you can see the audio right there, and it'll be great. Next to that, again, we have scene transitions. Now later, if you're going to use multiple scenes, this is where you set up how, like, transitions between the scenes, a swipe, fade, just like PowerPoint, okay? We're not going to use that today, though, not an issue. And then all the way to the right, we have our controls here. And actually, I have my sources up here. And one thing that's really cool about OBS is you can move any of these panels around very simply. for your convenience, and I believe the sources are originally down here. So the default location for your sources is probably right here. Sources are any image, any media, anything that you're showing in OBS. So this is where we will add all of the information, including our microphone, our video source, our camera, any pictures, that all goes into sources. I actually recommend everybody move this bad boy right up here. It's very easy to organize more sources and see what they are if you move it to the right. And you don't have to, but for the rest of today's workshop, I will be having my sources window on the right, okay? And then below that, we see our controls. For streaming, if you set up a streaming service, such as on YouTube or Twitch, this is simply the button you press to begin that stream. And then, of course, for recording purposes, this is the button you press to start your recording. Below that, we have an excellent feature, and this is really what's going to be the thing we're going to talk about and use the most for today, is the virtual camera. OBS virtual camera allows whatever you have on your screen into OBS to be displayed in lieu of your webcam or another source on things like Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Skype or any other program you use for interacting with students or anyone else. So for example, let's say I have, let's say I'm gonna go ahead and go here. I'll just click test A, which is what we're gonna do in just a minute. And I click virtual camera. And then in Zoom, I change to virtual camera. And now you see my picture, if you can see it in Zoom. My face isn't there anymore. My webcam is not what's being used in Zoom. OBS's stream is now being used in Zoom. So it's a very simple way for you to do that. Now, why would you want to do that? If it's just your face, it's your web camera. Don't you want your camera to show up in Zoom calls and Microsoft Teams and whatever you use to teach your students or work with people? Well, you can't really manipulate or adjust settings for your camera and change the quality very well by default on most computers, unless you use different software. OBS allows us to tinker with our feed and add details, etc. And that will increase the quality of your camera and your audio for whenever you're interacting on Zoom, etc. Anything else we're doing, if you use OBS. So let's go ahead and take our first step together and see what we can do. Let's see, what do I have on the docket? Let's see, first one. Okay. Turning on virtual camera, which I just went over. So I would like everyone to try that out really quickly. Just go over here, turn on your virtual camera button, and then in Zoom, once you turn on your virtual camera in Zoom, you should have the option there when you look at your video, okay? I haven't added a video source yet, so you're right. It's going to pop up as a black screen on, in our chat, but I just want to see if everyone's able to do that. So let's go ahead and test turning on the virtual camera and then using the virtual camera in our Zoom chat right now. The first step would be down here, you just go ahead and click Start Virtual Camera. And then in Zoom, if you look at your camera settings, you have your microphone and then there's the video icon. If you click the drop-down arrow, OBS Virtual Camera should be an option there after you started your virtual camera.
I think I did the right thing, but that option didn't appear for me. The
Interesting.
virtual camera is definitely on because
Okay.
right now it says stop virtual camera as the only option I have. But I think my computer might be configured a little bit strangely because also it's using the audio from Zoom right now. So whereas your OBS shows that there's no audio, my OBS shows that there is audio from you and me talking.
Sure.
So
I
that's a little
think
weird.
by default, it'll set up a desktop audio source. Okay.
Okay.
And that would be your default. So, okay. I apologize. I believe this is what we're going to have to do. And hopefully we don't lose you guys. You're going to have to leave the call, close Zoom, and then come back. And your OBS virtual camera should be enabled after that. Okay. So you have it turned on in OBS. And now you got to close Zoom and open it back up. And it should be there. So you have to right click Zoom, not just leave the call. You have to terminate the program on your computer. Make sure it's totally turned off and then come back in here. Can we do that? I want to believe you. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here, guys.
I'm going to wait and see if that works for people before I do it, because for me, it's more complicated. I'm the host right now.
That's smart, Jessamine. Yeah. I like it. That's a smart move.
This hosting thing has been very complicated to work out, and we finally figured out how to do this.
It works. It works.
Yeah. Hey, nice.
Hey, I'm gone. Where am I?
Excellent.
Victor, can I make you host for a minute?
Sure.
And I'll go do that too. Yep.
Love it.
You are host. Okay.